we have Kevin. Kevin, you say your name and where you're from.
Kevin Adams, Predictive Online Marketing.
And then we have Kris up here.
I am Kris O'Connor with Kris O'Connor Marketing Gems. Welcome, everybody.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Google business profiles. We're also going to give you some quick updates on what's all happened this week in the marketing world that we thought was pretty important. So the first thing that we would want to talk about is I just got notified that I am live via email. Yay!
Man. This is our test going live, everyone. So we're ironing out all the challenges, and this is a first for Casey. I've done this several times, and all these nuances are quite entertaining. So I did the same thing like a year ago, so it's fun watching somebody else do it too.
Close Outlook is what I just learned. So the first one we want to talk about is the Google Search Console has added video. Well, they've said they've added it. It's slowly rolling out over the next couple of months. Did y'all see that? No? Okay.
So what is video in Search Console about?
So they basically, here, I did pull it up. So basically they're doing an indexing report of videos. So you can have your videos in your pages and it will tell you if those videos are indexed from the embed.
Interesting.
And it checks validations. One thing I did notice down here is video is supplementary content on the page. It's not the main content. So it'll even be able to tell if the video is the main focus of that page.
So if it's like a background video for a banner, it's going to determine that's considered supplementary?
Yeah. So, and like this is an embed. So it knows if it's an embed or what. So I thought this was pretty. Search Consoles I don't have yet. I am just waiting to see when it comes out.
That's pretty interesting. I'll have to look at that. I don't go into Search Console every day, just like when I'm working on clients' blogs or updating their website or doing, changing something, adding something, doing a picture. I guess I'm in there about once a week on one client, but
yeah,
I mean, it just depends on the client that I'm working on.
Yeah, and like me, I have everything tied into my reporting platform, so I don't really get in there unless I'm connecting something new to it, because I could just pull all my reports from the platform I use. So I'm gonna have to start hopping in and checking it. So
for me, once it's connected to Google Ads or Google Analytics, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So Google Search also is wanting you to connect your GA4 to it as well.
Yeah, I noticed that today when I was in there. So have y'all, I am way behind on the GA4. Have y'all started implementing that? I'm assuming y'all have.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them set up.
Yes.
So eventually we're going to add that to the list to talk about on here, because I have not touched it at all. So
I wouldn't call myself savvy at it, or even I wouldn't say I need to get better at it. And there's still more that it needs to come along before it's fully ready. I don't think it's not there yet, but
no, it's definitely not. But you've got to set it up and people have to set it up because they're going to lose all their data once it gets rolled over in 2023. So you better set up and run both of them, because you need both of them right now. You can start building your data, and by the time 2023 rolls around, they'll have, well, I can assume they'll have everything, if not more, rolled into GA4 that they had in UA. So it's really important that I think that people start the GA. I mean, we had a speaker about that, or I heard a speaker saying that now's the time, because otherwise you're going to be at a loss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's going
just
to be
to start collecting it. Go ahead.
There will be some levels of data that are not going to be in GA4 ever that you can already get. More and more is going to aggregated event level data, which is you need enough to be able to optimize something from. You don't need to get the specific user data. That's the privacy world that everyone's moving to. It's not just a Google thing. It's every platform.
Right. Well, and some of that's changing. The way you look at it's changing. I know that I'd love to have Julie Jones on here talking about that, or Jenna, because they're so knowledgeable with all that information, and they definitely could probably teach us a lot of stuff. Teach a lot of people a lot of stuff. Those are the number girls.
Yeah.
They love that data.
So then, go ahead, Kevin.
Well,
anything else?
Yeah, it's just Google Ads, like in this kind of sense is we used to get vast majority of your search query data, and you'd still a little line item other search queries, and you'd have maybe 1 or 2 clicks in there, tons and tons of impressions, but all of your click data was usually shown. And then even when they started paring that back and your other search queries got bigger and bigger and had some more clicks, you always had your converted search queries. And then that went away to where you may or may not get the search ones. I'm seeing accounts plenty of times. I was looking at one last night. I had roughly 50% of the click search queries were shown, and the other 50% were scrubbed out. And I'm getting tons and tons, tens of thousands of 0-click queries. That's a interesting revision of how to optimize with that kind of data. I didn't get a click from it, and many of them I might have gotten an impression or two. It's hard to evaluate the risk of how many. I can't put in enough queries. Negatives to block all the queries. So
yeah. The next thing on my list is from Ask Googlebot, and it says, "Does a CMS matter in Google search for rankings?" What do y'all think before I tell y'all what John said in his video, John Mueller?
Okay, read the question again.
Does a CMS matter for ranking in Google search? Content management system.
Yeah. You're probably going to say no, but I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to go with the classic, it depends.
That's politically correct. All right. Good job, Kevin.
Okay. So why does it matter?
Because I think some systems are better than others.
You're structuring the data.
I can see that, because if you take WordPress or Wix or some place like that, you don't really need to know how to write HTML, and it'll still correct a whole bunch of stuff for you. So I get that part of it. But according to John, if you code an HTML static site correctly, it has no difference over the rankings compared to like a CMS. So as long as everything's coded correctly, it doesn't matter.
Well, okay, those are key words that you just said. Coded correctly.
Yeah.
How many things are coded correctly out there?
Not very many.
No, and it's interesting since I've been out on my own in the last year and a half, and all the things that I've looked at and all the, the many different clients, websites and this and that, I was amazed. I am amazed at how, I don't even know what the right word is, how messed up they are. And then they wonder why they're not getting any calls. They're not getting any traffic. They're not getting any, and it's really back to the basics. And I've said this before in some other groups that I think everybody wants to skip to the shiny penny or the shiny coin and keep jumping, but they forget about the basics. And I think if you've got the basics intact, which is correct coding, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be successful, but I can't tell you how many people don't even have that.
Yeah. And what surprises me is like some of these, I'll go with bigger plugins that, like, I use a review plugin that is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love the way it lays out the reviews. It looks good. It pulls in new, fresh data as often as you want it, depending upon how often your clients are getting reviews. But they didn't take the time to code it so it includes structured snippet data. So, I mean, it's an awesome plugin. I still use it because it makes everything look so amazing. But it doesn't help me with my rankings because there's no structured data. So I'm going to have to talk to them about that and see if they can get that implemented, because that would kick it into extra gear.
What review plugin is that?
Or
are you going to keep it a secret?
No, let's see.
Wait till you get an affiliate link before selling the audience, right?
I always like to hear about quality plugins because, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah. So, Kris, to your point, I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think the basics, and I love the bright and shiny. I love the advanced, like, hey, we can do this and everything. But you can beat 90% of the field if you just do the basics right, because doing the basics right is rarely all done. Many times you can look and go, look at all these things, and then like, oh, did you see this? Oh, and it's painful. You go back and look at your own work and like, oh, wow, that could have I could have done that better. Just covering the basics, and I was doing some tricked out stuff. But I think the other question about the coded correctly, and I think the question, the word correctly is the trick. That's changed over time. What is there a way to say, like, how would you say, okay, coding correctly nowadays? What is?
Well, that's a good question, because you get these developers, and each one of them, you could put 5 of them in a row and you could tell them to do the same thing, and each one of them is going to do it a little differently. I promise you, they will.
Yeah, and 4 out of 5 of them will be bad.
Probably.
All right, here. Let me pull up. So here's the
Google Places Reviews Pro.
Yeah, it's by Ninja Team, and it's on Code Canyon. So it's $39. You do have to get what they use, I can't even remember, the Google Cloud subscription. I think with all the queries to the databases, it charges me like $2 a month for all my clients. So even it's not that bad. This is what it makes it look like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and it has filters, so you can only you could pull in your 4 and 5 stars and leave out the ones where you got a really bad client that only gets 1-star reviews. You can filter those out too. So, and it does good on mobile.
Yeah.
Can you filter it by phrases that are said in the review?
I do not believe so, because that would be really cool too. But you can have multiple locations, add box shadows. So if your client has like 4 or 5 different locations, you can tag just the location for the reviews on that location page.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and they have widgets. So I enjoy it. It works really well, and it actually helps with sales. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talk about that on Google Business Profile in my clubhouse room every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And reviews are critical, and but not just getting a 5-star. You want somebody to actually write you a review, and not like you did a great job. You want them to expand a little bit and possibly place. I know I'm going to get stopped about this, but I know that ask them to put a few keywords in there. I mean, you don't tell them their keywords, but kind of make a recommendation of what they can write, because a lot of people don't know what to write. They don't know how to write. You can give them suggestions, and then they can, do something along those guidelines. And then it's imperative to respond to them. Always, always, always respond to everyone. I don't care if it's a 1-star and somebody says it should be a 0-star, you need to respond to them. And as the owner or whoever you've hired to answer those reviews, you make sure that you add a few more keywords. Now, I know people are going to say it doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. One day it just might matter, and then you're SOL, right?
Yep.
So why not? Why not add it? Because you never know when Google's going to change something and say, not that they would ever tell you, but I really feel in my gut that it does have something to do with some of the rankings, even though they tell you it doesn't.
All right.
They
so
look
now
at where people are.
Go ahead, Kevin.
They look at where people are going and their responses. When they do click-through rates on different stuff. My wife, this was started. I don't remember, a long, long time ago, but it got to a point, at least on Netflix, we wouldn't want to watch anything in this household with less than 3.5 stars. The number went up. I mean, if we're going to go watch something now, it's got to be like reviewed great on like Rotten Tomatoes. Burned once on that so far, so there's a little doubt that any kind of product, she's going to go look at the reviews and see what's there, instead of letting the person just go randomly find stuff, feeding that stuff to them and helping. And people, I think they get too nervous about reviews. There's certain businesses that are going to get them. Many businesses are going to get negative reviews. It's just going to happen. I was talking to a doctor, and he was like, "I got this negative review, and I've responded to it." And I was explaining, it's like, look, if you're a doctor's office, you're going to get the negative review. Oh, great place, but their lobby wait times. Right? Oh, that's just a doctor's office in America, right? That's just a navigational. Oh, okay, it's a doctor's office. Cool, I'm at the right place. That's not really, as long as people do look at how you respond, and they look at how recent that is. If that was like a couple of years back or a year back, okay, great. But if you're responding well, as long don't feed the trolls. I've seen that one go badly, where people digging up a comment from a year or two ago, and then suddenly it's right there on Google's front page, and they're like, "Why is this happening?" It's like, don't. It's old. Just let it die.
Well, the fake reviews are so rampant. It's just appalling, really. And I mean, it was funny. You just got one the other day. Well, not got one, but Casey was telling me about somebody had messaged them or emailed them about, I can put out as many reviews as you want or whatever it said. And,
Yeah.
I said, send it to me because I want to flag them. And, that's Curtis Boyd has the transparency company. That's what he's all about. And let me tell you, he's hitting it hard. And there's a lot of government agencies that have picked him up and picked his, services up to, start fighting a lot more of these fake reviews that are out there because it's rampant. And, what's kind of cool is, the new video testimonials. I kind of like that. I don't know how you fake that. Like you could fake a review. But I'm sure somebody will figure it out.
Yeah, they'll get it eventually.
I'm sure somebody will figure it out. But to me, a video review kind of, you see it, you can't touch it, but you see everything. And because we're such a visual society, I think that might help. I don't know if it's the next best thing, but it's certainly, why not, right?
So do reviews with photos, are they better than
Absolutely.
just regular reviews?
150%. So when clients or when a customer leaves a review, it's better if they have more than one picture. Have them take 4 or 5 pictures. If it's a restaurant, have them take pictures of, the fun you're having, and I don't know, whatever you want to be creative with. And, put 4 or 5 pictures up there with the review. Absolutely. Google loves that. Absolutely loves that.
Yeah, I've noticed, I've been trying to build my reviewer profile, and I've noticed that at places where I do photos, they get more views than with no photos when I leave
Yep.
a review.
Yep, absolutely. Well, if you're at a restaurant or if you're at a ballpark, you want to see how clean things are, right? You want to see what the food looks like, because you can always take a really nice picture and put it in an advertisement, right? I mean, half the things on TV are fake, right? I mean, it's not real food. You couldn't eat it after you got done with it, the way that they whitewash it and milk wash it and this wash it and that wash it. I mean, it's not real. It sure looks good and it makes you hungry, but if you were to eat that after they got done photographing it, no, you wouldn't want it.
So if I were a sewage treatment plant putting up before and afters, right? Is that
Okay, Kevin. All right.
I know.
Boys, they always got to go there, don't they?
Come on, I could do a live stream like once a day. Man, just look how many people are watching. I don't know.
Well, that's sad, but probably true. Sad, but probably true.
Nobody's monetizing this? Come on.
Oh, well, you just gave somebody an idea.
All I could think of is Dirty Jobs. Why can't I remember the guy's name? The show Dirty Jobs.
Oh yeah, those would be all of those businesses. You remember the guy was the guy Will It Blend, right?
Yeah.
Right. So ridiculously simple. You know this one, right, Kris?
Mm-mm.
So I can't remember the name of the guy in the company, but they decided they were trying to sell this blender. It was a commercial grade blender, and they didn't know what to do. And so they said, well, let's just stick I think it was like a phone. I think it was something, whatever. Just see, will it blend? And then every day they would come in, they just started filming this and putting it up on YouTube, and just ridiculous stuff. Just will it blend? And it was fun and engaging video.
And I bet that people watched it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bet if there was
to be entertained. People just definitely need to be entertained. And I mean, why do you think TikTok's so big?
Yeah.
I mean,
TikTok says they're an entertainment company, not a social media company.
Yeah, well, and so is Instagram. And Snapchat used to be the thing, and then, Instagram kind of took over, and now TikTok has taken over. So, and that's where everybody tells you need to be. I'm sorry, but I'm out. I watch some of the videos every once in a while, but I'm not and maybe it's because of my age and I'm older. I'm not a TikTok kind of person, but they say that people my age are the ones that are watching it. So,
as a side note, TikTok added ad filtering for businesses, so you can filter what videos your ads show on.
really?
Yep, they did that
Wow.
this week.
Wow.
So I seen that when I was looking for stuff. So
Wow. Interesting.
yeah, that
Very
was
interesting.
yeah. I didn't understand. They have like 4 different levels, and it's not really. It's like maturity based. I don't know how they accomplish that, because I'm like, it's not like keyword or some keyword based where I'd be like, okay, well, if I have a pressure washing company, I want to see people that are watching pressure washers, but it's like maturity of video. I don't.
Hmm.
It was really like, even reading through the article about it, I was like really confused. So that's
I haven't
I'm gonna
Well,
be
looked at
doing
this one.
research.
If you're not a TikToker, you probably won't get it. If you're a
Yeah,
TikToker, you probably get it like in a heartbeat. Like it's the best thing since sliced bread, right? It's a great ad. So
yeah,
Well, if you're an advert like in Facebook ads or Google ads, there are settings based on these kinds of things, because advertisers freak out if their content gets shown on something that's not like doesn't represent their brand. So
yeah.
it's not just the not safe for work kind of stuff. It's like, okay, that's political stuff that is against me. So um, all the every ad platform runs into this meat grinder, and the panic that starts going out when the news gets out to one company. Like, what?
Mhm.
I had like how many impressions showing on what channel that's about this? That's not us. I'm sure it was a matter of time TikTok was going to run into it.
Yeah. Well, they all have their ways of and we don't even know what's going on inside their companies. A lot of this is probably already developed. They're just slowly releasing it, or creating it and then releasing it.
yep. So, what are some, I guess, some hints to help us get more reviews on the Google business profile? I gotta get used to
Well,
saying that.
I know it's hard. I because I have a clubhouse room every week. It rolls off my tongue now. It's not a big deal. But the Google Business Profile, how to get reviews. So there's many different ways to get reviews, but the most important is when that customer is excited about your product or service at that moment, that they're telling you, thank you so much, I loved what you did, or I love this product, or whatever, that is the time to ask for the review right then, because they are super excited about it. They're happy that it was fixed, repaired, replaced, whatever the case may be. They love the taste, whatever it is, right? They're enthusiastic and they're going to give you a really, really, really good review. If you wait even 24 hours, a week, or send an email, 99.8% of the time you've already lost it. You get about a 2.2% people that will actually fill that out. So I always recommend people that to carry around, you can have a QR code in your phone that has a link directly to your profile, and you pull out your phone and let them capture the link on their phone, and boom, you got a review. There's also
Yeah,
a review link on your profile that you can text somebody or email somebody or send somebody that will also take you directly. Now, the challenge with that is you can only get a review. You can't get pictures uploaded. So you want to find a way to get pictures uploaded with the review. So sometimes if you're with that person or in front of that person, you can give them your URL for your Google business profile, and then they can take pictures and upload and add the words that they want to add.
Yeah, so this brings me up to this topic. So the Google business app stopped working this week. It ended. It has
Today.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit.
Oh, let me
'Cause-
tell you, I had several agencies today whining and crying about it not being there. So you're not the only one.
Yeah.
What is it all moved over to?
Yeah, well,
Google Maps.
you either have to So the only way you can get into the back end is on your desktop still, but that won't be much longer before we can't use that either.
I know.
So
That's gonna be really bad.
They cut that off, and I have used it that way. It's a little harder to navigate around, but like anything, right? Anytime Google changes something, the people who use it the most get frustrated because we're used to our systems. We're used to knowing how to click, 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 boom, done, 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 right? Now it's taking you a little bit longer to figure out what your system's going to be and how you find what you need to find. It's all there. It's all there. Everything you had before. It's just a different way to get to it. And it's just a little bit of a learning curve. It's super not hard, but it is a little bit of a learning curve if you're not in there all the time. But if you're working for clients and you're doing a lot of posting, a lot of updating, a lot of, optimizing of their profile, it won't be that hard. I promise it won't.
Yeah,
thinking.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I go into Google Business Profile and I get messages that it's easier to change the results, make changes from Google search. Is that what?
That's what they're forcing you to do. That's what they're forcing to do. So if you manage the account, then you have to go on search or maps to update anything that's there. You can't go in the back end on your phone anymore.
Yeah, Maps is the only way to get the messages from customers. You can't do that from search.
Correct.
It's getting messages from Google Maps.
Yes. So
that's weird to say.
Yeah, I know. So if somebody has a question or wants to hire you, whatever, they can send, if you have it turned on. A lot of people don't have it turned on. And I understand why they don't have it turned on.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, froze.
She froze. There you are.
Froze. Okay. Yeah, just for a second.
Okay. There we go. Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is so much spam on that and I have a client who's a pressure washer in Waxahachie, and he gets more crap on that than anybody I've ever seen. And I'm also to the point, why don't you just turn it off, because it's not bringing you business. Now, on the other hand, I have a roller skating rink in Sherman that he books so many birthday parties off that messaging system. So I think it just depends on your business. I know when I was in the garage door business, it was crap. I hated it. I turned it off because you'd get that proverbial, hello, how are you today? Well, really?
Yeah.
So, two things. I want to first, for the audience, I'd like you to go through your background a little bit. You building business, the garage doors, what you were doing for outreach, and how you were building reviews then, the effects, how you dealt with I don't know. Go ahead.
Sure. So I started with the company, and it was just two of us, the technician, my ex, and myself. And we worked super hard, and it was a big challenge. And, when you have no money to do advertising or budgets or anything, what I learned how to do was network. And I networked a lot. People would see me everywhere, and I'd have earphone, and I'd have 2 phones, and I'd have to leave and answer the phone because, I'm networking plus I'm answering calls. You can't not miss a call, right? So I did that for 13 years and really on a shoestring budget because we didn't have a lot of money until towards the end. And then, that's when I started using AdWords and things like that. But up until that point, I mean, it was all, I would go to meetings. I would go to DFW SEM. I'd go to a lot of meetup groups. I'd learn how to do a lot of these things. But the key for me was I implemented. Sometimes I was implementing at the meetings because if I was implementing it and I had a question, I could ask that person, okay, I'm this far. What am I missing? Right? Because sometimes when people talk about this stuff, they make it sound so easy, but I'm not and wasn't the most technical person. Can I get things done? Yes. Do I have the strong knowledge of technical? No, my son does, but I don't. I know enough to be dangerous. And then I would need somebody to bail me out. And John Nozzle always bailed me out, which was a lifesaver. But unfortunately, he moved to Tyler and started helping his mom. And anyways, that's another story. But Google Places, I think is what it was called way back in 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of names. I don't even remember them all. But I remember Google Places stuck in my head. I remember directory stuck in my head. And, I just kept adding and kept doing what people suggested. And these are, Bill Hartzer. I've listened to him for years. And I used to love going to the meetings and what's new, Bill? Because he'd say, oh, X, Y, and Z. And then the next day I'd be implementing it. So the key really is to implement what you learn. And I mean, a lot of these meetups were free or $5. So I learned a lot of education for a minimal amount of money. And I'm very grateful to Steve Kuntz and his group. And I mean, so many of them. There was just so many of them that I went to, especially in the evenings. That's when I gained the most. So, but basically grew the company from 0 to 1.6 million. And I mean, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. It was a challenge. I mean, some days you wanted to rip your hair out and say WTF, right? But I think that's in any business. But the benefit I have is that I was on the owner side of it, right? I was in the trenches running every aspect of the business. And so I understand when I go see a client, I really, truly understand the issues that they're truly dealing with. And I think that's why a lot of people like working with me.
In that situation, you're in a sink or swim at any time, right?
Daily, because there were times I'd have 4 or 5 technicians, and we'd walk in. I'd be there at between 7:30 every morning, and walk in, and there'd be no appointments on the books, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to make the phone ring. Right? And honestly, the phone could start ringing at we answer it 24/7, but the phone could really start ringing about 8 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock, I could fill up the whole day within 30, 45 minutes sometimes. Sometimes I couldn't get but 5 appointments a day. It was definitely a roller coaster that was really tough to be on because it was a feast or famine. And I think the service business is very much like that. Your feast or famine. And as hard and much as I tried to be even keel, right? Like consistent, very difficult.
So you're basically trying to schedule people and their hours, and then the amount of work coming in was always like a push and pull.
Yeah, always.
And then moments you're like, oh yeah, we're rocking, and then suddenly the rug cuts out from under you.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah, we would be, we had goals for the month and we'd be rocking it. And then, we were right on target for our goal for that month. And then we'd have 3 days where it was terrible, just terrible. And it just sets you back, right? And you're like so frustrated that how does that happen? Like you're rocking for 3 weeks and then all of a sudden it just stops. And you're like, what did I do? What's wrong? Why isn't the phone ringing? What's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on in the world, right? I mean,
I
these are
know
all
there's
things
some
that you
busted
think about.
garage doors.
Exactly. Because there's a gazillion garage door companies, or I should say tailgaters, one guy, one man show. And they'll always undercut a company because they don't have any overhead. They don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand business.
Yeah.
Do you feel like any of those ups and downs could be directly attributable to like, oh my God, we got this amazing review, or oh, this negative review is dogging us? And you really like any that you just are certain that happened, these stories?
Honestly, yes. So reviews matter. I mean, and it was hard to get reviews. I never paid for reviews. I'm a white hat girl. I'm not a black hat girl.
What?
At all.
What is this?
At all. Nope, not at all. And I do this when somebody's talking black hat because I just know the consequences. I've seen it. There was a time there when I wasn't in charge of all that stuff, and he hired somebody to do all of that, and that's back in 2000. When did Penguin come out? 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we disappeared right off the internet. Just completely disappeared because this individual was doing a lot of black hat stuff. And so I basically had to rebuild everything, rebuild the website, I mean, it was like starting all over again. It was a whooping, let me tell you. And from that moment, I said, never again. And then in 2019, I think it was 2019, we had two companies. We had a gate company and we had a garage door company with the first words were basically the same. It was A1 gate guys and A1 garage doors. So A1 affordable garage doors. So what happened was, I don't know if somebody turned us in, but I had the same address except for Suite 101 for the gate guys. Somebody turned us in. All of a sudden, one day, Google Business Profile was now A1 Gate Guys, and I lost the repair garage doors side. And it was a nightmare suspension, like from hell, from absolute hell. So I've been down that road too. We did everything we possibly could. I lost over 150 reviews on my garage door side and never got them back. Never got them back.
Wow.
And so, I mean, there's a lesson there. There's definitely a lesson there. And I don't know if my competitor turned me in or what they did. Something happened. And so it took me 6 to 8 weeks. And I finally hired Jason Brown to get us unsuspended because I couldn't get it done. I could not get it done. So it's just a whooping. There's certain things you don't touch. And, and I'd had both companies on that address for 2.5 years. 2.5 years.
That's crazy.
And in a moment, a blink of the eye, poof, gone.
Gone.
Wow. And so since then, you've been like just helping other business owners, running as an independent.
Yeah.
Going through, hey, I've learned all these lessons. Let me help you on this one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is most business owners don't understand how beneficial. Like Greg Gifford always talks about, it's your website, right? And how beneficial a Google Business Profile is. They just don't understand what a benefit is, especially if you're a service-based business. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But they'll sign up, but they won't optimize it. They won't do the things that need to be done to, keep you in the top rankings. They don't put the right categories. There's so many things that they don't do or do wrong. And so that's what I try to help a lot of people out with. And that's what we talk about at our clubhouse room on Thursdays is, people come with questions and actually I'm pretty excited about it, but August 1st, we're launching a program with, Lenny and Alicia and myself. And so we're going to be doing, what should I call it? Mastermind. There's a mastermind there's a master class, there's a mastermind, and then there's a VIP club that people can join. So, and it's all for a Google Business Profile.
Don't promote it. Like, what's the
so the website is gmbprofiletipsandtricks.com. And then it's /class-sign-up-form. It's a long one. But
just send that to me. I'll post it in the comment or in the description.
And what's the clubhouse?
Clubhouse is every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Did you say the name of the club?
The clubhouse is Google My Business.
Oh, just that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we are 6 people short of 1,000 members in our club.
This is the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next Thursday, we're crossing that boundary.
Yep. Love to have you. I mean, anybody can come. Everybody's welcome, and people have questions, and we answer them. And people are loving our room. I guess that's why we're almost at 1,000 in our club.
That's awesome. So Casey, you've been, you've done in-house, you've done agency side, you do websites all the time. Are there challenges that you have with integrating the locations onto the page, or what are the things that you run into? Say integrating.
No, most of the time. Most of the time, it's just getting the business owner to understand how powerful it actually is.
Yes.
So you can, as a website guy and somebody that loves SEO, if you just only have a Google business profile, you really don't need any of the rest. And that's coming from somebody that loves websites and SEO and marketing.
If it's done right. If it's done right.
Mm-hmm. And you're on it and active and managing it properly, that could be enough to completely fill your business up with more work than you can do.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It really can.
It really can.
Truly can.
What do you do about the spammers? There really hasn't been a whole lot of spammers on my profiles. The one that Kris mentioned earlier, that was the first one, and for that company, that was the first one in a year and a half. So it's there, and basically, for me, I just have about every 6 months, I have a chat with business owners and be like, hey, you're going to get spam. We can rank you from your contact form. You're going to get Google review messages that say, hey, we can do 1,000 Google reviews for you for $2 a piece, and they stick and will stay there. Yeah, they will, and then your Google My Business listing will disappear. That you can do it. I mean, I've played around with it in the day, and it works, and it will work, and then it will disappear. It will. So if you're just a fly-by-night shop, do whatever you want to. If you're trying to make your business be long-term and you want to destroy all your competitors, then yeah, you can build it up and just get more reviews and keep posting in there, and you will take over competitors. So let me get this right. Listening to 2 experts on Google Business Profile, on websites and SEO, and educating the client is one of the most powerful things you can do.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to go along with you, all those skill sets it doesn't function well. Is that what I hear?
We can only do so much.
Right.
I mean, I can set it up. I can't. Well, I can help you get client reviews by setting up systems, but it will work better if you're face to face with the client. You'll get a review more times than sending them an email a day later or within 24 hours and asking for a review. It just doesn't. It converts, but not. It'll
You got to get
convert
it while it's
probably.
hot. You really got to
Yeah.
get it while it's hot. You got to.
Yeah,
You
you're
just got to.
talking. Would you rather have like a 30% conversion rate when you email them 24 hours later, or would you rather have a 90% conversion rate of getting in the review when you're right there in front of them?
Well, even 30% is high, Casey, honestly.
Oh, yeah,
Because
it
think
is.
about it. Think about yourself. Think about yourself. You just like had the best time going out and having a steak, right? I mean, it was so good and so delicious, and you're in the moment and you had a great date with your wife or your family or whatever it is, right? And you just want to tell everybody how good it was right then and there, right? And then you go home, you watch your movie, whatever, do your thing, you get up the next morning and it's gone. That enthusiasm and that excitement is gone. Somebody might say, hey, did you enjoy your dinner last night? And you're going to say, yeah, it was really good. But that enthusiasm is gone.
Goodbye, dopamine rush. So ride the dopamine wave, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to share with you guys. I'm gonna share this with you guys, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm kind of proud of this. Can you see that?
Yeah, hang on. Let me add it to the screen. There you go.
So what this is a company that I work for, and this is the process that I do that actually Lisa Duty talked about at her Rocks Digital conference. So in May of 2021, we had 176 clicks to the website, 33,000.8 impressions, and approximately 8 first page impressions. So my process was I wrote a blog of 500 to 1,000 words every week. I took part of that blog and put it on Google Business Profile and posted it, and then linked it back to the website. And after 1 year of doing that on a weekly basis, look at my numbers. The clicks, tripled? Almost quadrupled?
Quadrupled or more.
Yeah. And my impressions doubled. My impressions doubled. And my pages with first impressions tripled.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do we have a hard cutoff at this 3 minutes? Like just a few minutes left?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No, we're good.
But I just want people to understand that this is not a lot of time and not a lot of work. And then people are going to say, well, what do I blog about? Well, we can talk about that another time. But I just want to show you the value that Google loves Google. Google loves fresh content on the website. Google loves fresh content on Google Business Profile. And when you make it this circle, because I always have a call to action, it's either learn more, call now, or book an appointment, or whatever the case may be. So that's the important thing that people need to understand. Even if you're working in an agency, write a blog a week for your clients. Honestly, find their keywords and things that they want to talk about, write a blog for them and post it on Google Business Profile and link it back to the website, or link it where you need to link it to. Always have a call to action. We all know that, right?
Yep.
So the important thing, and that's what can happen. That's what can happen. I can only imagine. Now, I'm only there 1 day a week. So I can only imagine if I did that twice a week. I wonder what my numbers would be. It blew me away, though. It actually blew me away. Those numbers blew me away.
Those are amazing numbers.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of people's money to get those kind of clicks. So the question, the one that stops so many people, the one that I hear, I don't know, hey, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing this is time, right? What all do I need to be doing? And so there's something in there that you had said that is a wonderful time efficiency method, which is you're not duplicating your effort by taking a portion of the blog and putting in Google Business Profile, linking it back, and then the full blog article is put on the website. I love that for the efficiency of the time. I would ask the next question, which is how much time, aside from, yes, I know I need to ask for the review, but how much time should I, as the small business owner, spend working on my profile or responding? Was that is it per week or per day?
Oh, no, you don't have to do it per day. So, we talk about at Clubhouse, we talk about, Monday, Manic Mondays or Taco Tuesdays or, whatever. You can create something in your business that goes along with that, right? Honestly, 1 hour a week, if you just do the Google Business Profile, honestly, 1 hour a week. And that's answering reviews. Of course, as soon as a review comes across my desk for my clients, I stop and I answer it right away. I don't wait for 3 or 4 days because you get too busy and then you'll forget to answer it. But it comes right across the desk and I'm answering it right then and there. And understand that when you do answer that, then the people who wrote the review, they get an email stating that you answered the review. So they're always notified. Now, whether they come back and say something extra, rarely, but they're notified because I'm sure they want to see what you wrote, right? Yep. If you were kind or mean or negative or whatever the case may be. But honestly, for a business owner who's super busy, this is what I recommend. And I work with some big executives, and we all schedule appointments for doctors, dentists, lunch, all that. Okay. Why aren't you scheduling an appointment with yourself for 1 hour a week to do this? That's it. It's not hard, but why aren't you? Because you don't value yourself enough to do that, really. And so if you were to implement that, I learned that a long time ago from Dan Kennedy, the No BS series, time management. I would schedule, and I still do, I schedule time, let's say every week from 11 to 12, I'm writing for X, Y, and Z. I turn my phone off. I turn my email off. I am focused for that hour. And when I was at the garage door company, I would shut my door and I would tell them, unless you're dying or somebody got into a car wreck, do not disturb. And it's amazing how much I could get done in a short period of time.
I feel like I'm in a classroom.
I know.
I forgot to turn in my homework. And I'm just staring around and going, I didn't study this week, did I?
Yeah, I was about to go.
Well, this is people's excuses. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Yeah. We all have the same amount of time, and you do have enough time. It's just how are you prioritizing your time? And
yep.
and that's really all that it is. I mean, I waste time too. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect because I certainly am not. There are days that I'm like, yeah, I didn't get done today.
Yeah.
I'm a news junkie. It's terrible.
I mean, we all get it, but I do schedule those times and I do say, okay, because honestly, if you do that, you get done with it and you're like, yes, I can move on to the next thing. I can go do something fun now, or I can, whatever the case may be.
Give yourself that dopamine hit, right? Yes, I've done something. Check that off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. Just pencil that in, schedule it. No client can schedule in that time. Sorry, that time's booked. Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. And I think that's probably how I got so much done in a short period of time at the previous company, because again, I ran everything except for the repairs. I was operations. I was accounting. I was office. I was warehouse. I was inventory. I was, I don't know, whatever else department you can have in a company, I was it. So, you get pulled so many different directions in a day that you have to figure out how to get things done. And obviously that was how I was able to get that company from 0 to 1.6 million. Truly.
That is impressive.
Yeah, that is so impressive.
Well, and it's, and I kind of look at it sometimes like it's not that much money, but our average ticket was $465. It fluctuated a little bit. So multiply $465 times 1.6. That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yep. All right. I say let's wrap it up there for this week. We're going to start trying to do these on a weekly basis. So we'll have some other guests, and I'm sure we'll have you back a whole lot, Kris.
Yes,
fun
awesome,
having you
Kris.
on here.
Wonderful knowledge.
So.
Well, I love to share. I love to give. I love to help. So, if anybody needs it, I'm here.
Yep.
I say this on Clubhouse all the time. I'm just grateful for all the people that have helped me over the years for 13 years, 14 years, and continue to help me. You too continue to help me. And I just want to give back just like you have given to me. So I'm happy to be here whenever you ask.
Heck yeah. All right. We're out, folks.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.